Open your eyes and look around. Open your eyes. Do you see the very things that you read about coming true? Don't you realize the moments are near? Correct yourself in your affairs. He has made it crystal clear. These are the signs of the time.
Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers, new class, stay tuned.
Signs of the times.
I want to welcome everybody to our series on the signs of the last hour. This is our series on the signs of the last hour. And subhanAllah, we're almost at the end of this series. The last time we met, we spoke about how Jesus alayhi salam will die. Who can remember what will happen to Jesus? Why will Jesus die? Can anyone remember? What will cause Jesus to die? Does anyone remember? Okay, well, we talked about how he will die from a virus. Yes, Allah will send a virus to the earth, and this virus will cause everyone who believes in Allah to get sick. Even if you have just a little bit of faith, you know, anyone living on earth at that time who has even an iota of faith will die from this coronavirus that Allah will send. Okay, and it will spread throughout the earth, just like the COVID virus did. It's a virus like that. Okay, Allah always sends a treatment, but there is no cure for death. So some people will probably get that virus and survive, but the people that die from it will be people who really did believe in Allah. And we spoke about how once Jesus dies, he will be on his way to Mecca to try to approach this Ethiopian army that will be there destroying the Kaaba. The Kaaba will be destroyed. Okay, but he won't ever make it there because he'll get sick and die from that virus. So they'll end up burying him in Medina. So we can assume that he dies near Medina. And so then after he dies, we talked about how his entire army will die too from that same virus. Okay, and then once Jesus alayhi salam is gone, we talked about how the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said it'll go back to how it used to be before him. The people will begin committing shirk all over again. Since Dul Suway Qatain destroyed the Kaaba and brought up and just so he could steal the idols underneath it, the people will build other idols like the ones that were underneath the Kaaba, and they'll start worshiping them. And that's not hard to imagine. Look how twisted the Muslims are today. We can feed the Muslims any type of propaganda, and they fall for it. Just like I can make a list up right now and put every American hair salon on it, and then pass it around and say, all these hair salons support Israel. And all the stupid Muslims here in America and everywhere else in the world will believe it and start boycotting all American hair salons. I mean, how ridiculous are we? Not knowing anything, not investigating to see if it's true, not investigating the politics of that country to see how they can do anything. You know, we're just stupid like that. The Prophet said that we're feeble-minded. We don't use our investigative skills like the Christians do. And that's why the Christians will always be having authority over us because of that. But anyway, after Jesus dies, the people will pick up those idols that used to be there, and I can see it, thinking that there's something great. Wow, this is what the people worship back in the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Maybe we should build them. Maybe we should start worshiping them too. And that's what they will do. Okay. And as that virus spreads throughout the world, killing all the believers, the only people that's left will be hypocrites, will be people that say that they're Muslim, but they are not. They don't pray. We talked about how the Quran will disappear after Jesus dies. What does that mean? It'll disappear. The meaning of it will disappear from the hearts of the people that's living, because the people that's left living on earth are Muslims that won't pray, that won't fast. So the prayer will become abandoned. The Hajj will become abandoned because the Kaaba was destroyed anyway. Ramadan will not be celebrated anymore. The prophet said the people will be worse than animals. They'll just be living off their own desires. You know, they'll be fornicating. It's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They'll be like animals, donkeys, fornicating in the street and not even caring that people see them. So we'll go back to the women walking around naked, but now really naked with no clothes on at all. Women being sold off, bartered off, and all of that. So that's where we left off. And we talked about how when this occurs, Allah is not done with us. Allah is not done with us. When this happens, Allah will send another calamity. And let me put the PowerPoint up. I'm going to put the PowerPoint up. Oh, I can't put it up yet. Let me bring my other computer in. I'm going to put the PowerPoint up on the screen so we can see, because Allah is not done testing us. And the believers will be tested with death. The people that's left on earth, anything sent to them is a punishment. It's not a test. But as the people all over the world, the Muslims all over the world, the believers are dying from this virus. It's not the next trial that Allah will send that will be a punishment for whoever Allah allows to live on earth that does not succumb to that virus will be the beast. The emergence of the beast. And again, all the other books that Allah sent spoke about this beast too. The Christians are aware of the beast. The Jews are aware of the beast, even though they have their own movies and stories about 666, the omen and all that stuff. Where I'm going to give you the real story or the real deal behind the beast. Okay? Now, remember, we talked about how when Jesus, alayhi salam, comes back as leader of the world, we talked about the big trial at that time, besides the war, will be the Antichrist. The Antichrist will be able to travel all over the world. He will travel over the world in 40 years, okay? And he will cause all the harm that he will cause because he will pretend to be Allah. But he will not be allowed to enter into the city of Mecca and Medina. We talked about how when Jesus, alayhi salam, comes back, Medina and Mecca will be uninhabited. In other words, the people won't live there, but they'll still be functioning because the Hajj will still be going on. The people of Medina and Mecca will move to Jerusalem so they can support Jesus as the leader of the world. But Medina and Mecca still will be functioning because of the Hajj and the Umrah. But after Jesus dies and after he is buried, because of that virus, when he dies from that virus and his army dies, his army of 800 men, when they die, that's when Allah will send another terror to the world, and that will be the beast. And our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam described the beast in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. He tells us that the beast will be very strange in appearance. It'll be half beast and half human-like. It'll be extremely large. He said you can't even imagine what it will look like. It will terrify you. It will be able to speak. You won't know if it's human or if it's a beast or a monk, an ape, gorilla, or what. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that it will come from out of the ground. And when he rises up out the ground, he will shake the dirt from his head. And he will have two things with him. He will have the ring of Solomon, alayhi salam. That's the ring that Solomon used to control the jinn. And he will also have the staff of Moses. That's why I keep telling you everything that's going on over there in Jerusalem, that part of the world. This has been going on, guys. This is the qadr of Allah, that world will go through what it's going through until the day of judgment. I told you guys, it all started with the prophet David, alayhi salam, who was the father of Solomon. Okay? So there's nothing that we can do to stop what's happening over there in Jerusalem. That's going to continue. Allah made it happen. Allah is making it happen. And it's not going to stop until he stops it. And it ain't stopping until the last hour. That's just how it is. That's how it's written. The prophet said, this is written. That part of the world will undergo fitna after fitna after fitna until the end of time. You people need to accept it. Learn to accept the qadr of Allah. So that ring of Solomon, that ring, if any of you know the story of Solomon, that ring was taken away. It was lost. It was taken away from him by a jinn pretending to be his servant, his trusted servant. Okay? That's how Solomon lost that ring. And there's a whole lot to the story of Solomon. Y'all need to go read about it. Because if you read the story of Solomon, you'll understand why Allah is doing what he's doing to the Muslims in that part of the world. It's going to continue because they still have the same problem they had then. And why is he carrying the rod of Moses? Again, even though Prophet Solomon came before Moses, Moses inherited the same problems from those people that Solomon inherited. Allah speaks about that in the Quran. They still don't understand that the earth belongs to Allah, not to them. That's why I'm telling you, Muslims, y'all so emotional, so twisted. Go learn your deen. This ain't got nothing to do with America or Zionism. It has to do everything to do with Allah and faith. Those people still don't understand. Moses had to tell them. He said, when will you people understand that the earth does not belong to you? It belongs to Allah. Go in there and get those people, run those people out. And they refused. They refused. They told Moses, you and your Lord go. And then we'll come in and take the promised land. So this is all something that's been going on, guys, since forever. Y'all can't stop what's going. You can protest against the qadr of Allah all you want to. You can boycott innocent people all you want to. You can call Muslims kafir all you want to. It's not going to change the qadr of Allah. The ink has dried. The book is sealed. And you Muslims need to go learn your religion and do what Allah said do when he sends these type of calamities to us. So this beast will come out and he will come from that direction too. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he will come from out of the ground in that direction too. And he will have that ring of Solomon, very important. That's the history of that part of the world. And he will have the staff of Moses. Muslims still ain't learning. People will be terrified of this beast and they will try to run away from it. But the prophet said they will not be able to escape it because it's the qadr, the decree of Allah. Just like you can't stop this war. It's the decree of Allah. I don't care who y'all vote. You ain't got no business voting. That's why Allah is punishing you. Long as you Muslims keep on disobeying him, long as you keep on calling Allah a liar, Allah done told you that you can never appoint a non-Muslim as a ruler or a leader over you. Allah said they will never hear your voice. They will never have your interest at heart, but y'all are all calling Allah as a liar. Just like Allah said the war came from him. And in all these hadiths, you read them and learn your religion, you know why. Because we still don't get it. We're still just as twisted mentally today as we were back in the time of Solomon. Okay? So the people will see this beast and they will try to run away from it, but they won't be able to. You can protest it. You can boycott it. You can call everybody kafir, kill each other. You still can't stop the beast from doing what Allah decreed for him to do. And what is the purpose of this beast? His purpose is to go to every human being that is living on earth at that time. Whoever's alive at that time, young and old, he will strike your nose with that staff of Moses. If you are an unbeliever, he will strike your nose, hit your nose with that rod, and then he will write the word kafir on your forehead. If you are a hypocrite, which most of people will be, just like most of people today are. And if you are a believer, a person that really believes in Allah, he will take that rod, wave it over your nose, and your face will become bright. And he will write the word mu'min, which means believer, on your forehead. And he will speak. He'll be able to tell you. He's going to tell you, you are a kafir. All the kafir bashing. You can't hide it from him because Allah has told him who's the kafir and who isn't. So this beast will come from out of the area of where Jerusalem and Saudi Arabia is today. And he will travel around the entire planet, whatever human being is living. Because a lot of people will still be dying from that virus. Whoever is living, he will strike your nose with the rod and say either kafir or believer. You can't stop it. You can get your flags. You can get your signs. You can boycott. It ain't going to stop it. You can't escape it. And Allah mentions the beast in the Quran, just like he mentioned the beast in the Bible, just like he mentioned the beast in the Torah. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, when the word is fulfilled against those who were unjust, we shall produce from the earth a beast to face them, and it will speak to them. It's going to tell you. As Ibn Abbas said, it will speak to them. It means that it will talk to you. It will tell you because you don't believe la ilaha illallah, you are kafir. You ain't got to call nobody no kafir no more. You will know who the kafir is because we'll be able to see it on everybody's forehead. You'll be sitting down for dinner with your family. You will look around the table and see maybe your father is a believer because he has mu'min on his head. But you'll look at your mother, yourself, your children and see kafir. So ain't no more kafir bashing. See how Allah has his justice. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not curse each other. He said, my nation, after I die, they will fight each other. They will separate into groups and sets. They will curse each other, kill each other, destroy one another. They will curse each other by using the K word, calling each other kafir. Well, now you ain't got to sit up and call each other kafirs no more. You would be able to look, oh, hi, my name is Layla. And you'd be able to see if I'm a kafir or not. And that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, rush to do your good deeds before you live to see this. Rush to do good deeds before you live to see the Antichrist, because it'll be too late then. Rush to do your good deeds before the beast appears. It's too late. Once he writes kafir on your forehead, that's it. You're stuck with it. You can't say, oh, I'm a kafir, I'm going to start praying now. Nope, you won't, because you are a real kafir. You ain't going to have it. You ain't even going to believe him. Okay? So the beast is not bad. A lot of people ask, Sister Layla, is the beast something bad? No. He's not killing anybody. He's just doing what Allah says do. Show the world who the true believers are. Remember, why does Allah send war? Allah says in the Quran, I send war to cleanse the earth of bad people. Look today, this is the beginning of the war. You Muslims today, many of you cannot accept the qadr of Allah. You're protesting and boycotting his decree. You're killing each other, calling each other kafirs, speaking without knowledge about things that ain't true. Well, guess what? You ain't got to worry. I keep telling you guys, Allah sends war for 3 reasons, those several reasons. One of them is so you can tell who the true believers are. Well, we sitting around guessing. The people in knowledge don't have to guess. We can look at each other's behavior, each other's reaction to what's going on in Gaza, and I can see who the believers are. I can see who the hypocrites are. I would never call them that, but I can look at your behavior. Look at how some of these famous speakers are handling it. And I can say, wow, I thought he was a scholar. He ain't no scholar. I can look at all these Muslims telling you to go out and vote for kafirs and stuff in the presidential election. Wow, I thought he was a person of knowledge. He ain't nobody either. Again, Allah sends war so we can see, those of us can see who the real Muslims are from the hypocrites, the pretenders. Well, guess what? At the end of time, right before the last hour, Allah will have his say so. He will say, you ain't gotta wonder. I sent the beast. You ain't got to wonder. The beast is gonna manifest who the real believers are. And again, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said the first of the signs of the last hour to appear will be the rising of the sun from the west and the appearance of the beast before the people in the forenoon. He said, which of these 2 events happens first? Allah knows best, but whichever one happens first, the other one will follow. This is when Allah was sending these revelations down to him. So you know that when you see that beast come, it's almost over. If you're living on that day to see the beast, you'll probably die real soon, because the believers who believe in Allah will die from that. They'll be dying from that virus. And after the beast has traveled the entire earth and marked everybody's forehead, he'll just disappear. Nobody will know what happened to him. He'll just disappear. And that's when that sun will rise. So when the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam speaks this hadith here, these will be the first extraordinary signs. The Antichrist, Jesus, the Gog and the Magog, they are less unusual because they were all human beings. But the first of the extraordinary signs are the beast, because it's strange. And it'll be an animal that speaks. This is extraordinary. So that's what the scholars say, based on what Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said. He said, you know, when the Prophet said the first of the signs to appear will be the rising of the sun from the west and the beast, he was talking about the first of the extra of the ordinary signs. The first of the earthly signs, the first of the earthly signs is the rising of the sun from the west. That's the first of the heavenly signs. But the Antichrist, Jesus, Gog, and the Magog, these are the extraordinary. I got headed backwards. Extraordinary is the Antichrist, Gog, and Jesus. And the beast, the sun from the west, is the first of the heavenly signs. There, now I got it right. Everybody got that? So a lot of people, when they ask us about the beast, like I said, the beast is not bad. You know, is he a bad thing? He's only bad for the unbeliever, for those hypocrites who will be living on earth at that time. He will represent something bad for them. But for the believer, no, he's just letting us see, letting us know who the true believers are, who the true believers are amongst us. And after he disappears, that's going to take us to the next of the greater signs that I'll talk about next week, which is the rising of the sun from the west.